Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to the live in Stamp Build Grow. My name is Melissa Thomas and I am on Candy Ratchery's team. While Candy and everyone else is enjoying Maui, she asked if I would come on and talk a little bit about team meetings and how important I think they are, my approach to them, what I've done. And so I'm really excited to do that with you guys. So say hello if you're here live. I know I'm coming on a little bit earlier than they normally would, but I need to come on now so that I can go get my daughter from school in a little bit. So again, my name is Melissa Thomas. I am on Candy's team. I'm a Silver Elite demonstrator. I have been for several years, very close to gold, which is exciting. And I've worked on building my team over the last almost 8 years. I can't believe I've been a demonstrator for almost 8 years. But wanted to talk a little bit about team meetings and how important they are and what an important role they play, and what I've seen in terms of engagement and longevity, and kind of how that plays into building really robust teams. So since the very beginning, once I had at least 1 or 2 people on my team, I have had, hi Donna, nice to see you. I've had team meetings. And from the very beginning, I was living in Charleston, South Carolina. My mother-in-law is my longest team member, and she lived in Texas. And so we had monthly meetings online, and I would do them on Zoom. And so I know Zoom is now, very popular, but a long, long time ago, many moons ago, I was doing Zoom meetings. And in the beginning, you can definitely do a 30-minute Zoom meeting, have the free account. One of the things I've learned is to keep a agenda. So I have a really standard agenda, and I will copy and paste it and put it underneath this post later in the comments. But I have a very standard agenda of the things that I always talk about every month, and I have times allotted for each of those so that I could keep myself on a time agenda. Now I'm really good at it, but in the beginning I used to prattle and I wasn't keeping things tight. And so I really want to respect, the time of my team members. So having a team meeting every month is really important. Setting a consistent date and time that works for you is really important. So find a date and time that you're not going to miss. I do mine on the 3rd Monday of every month, generally from wherever I'm at, right? It's a team meeting. So even if I'm on vacation somewhere or something, I can get online and I can do a team meeting. I can manage that. Very rarely have I had to move it, and that's good. I did my team meeting about 30 minutes later than I'm doing it now, and I shifted it all back by 30 minutes because I got feedback from my team about 2 things. One, they felt like the beginning of the meeting, everybody was doing a lot of chatting, and that I wasn't getting to the meat. And they also, for those that are on the East Coast, it was going really late. So I shifted it back by 30 minutes, and I do where now we hit the meat in the beginning. So we do about an hour, and then I let them kind of chat at the end for 30 minutes. So I stop the recording and people can just chat and ask questions and things like that. Those people that come to team meetings, my team members who come to team meetings, are consistently more engaged, purchasing more product, taking on leadership roles, recruiting more than those that don't. When people stop coming to meetings, it's one of my early warning signs that they're disengaging. They're not seeing the product, they're not playing with the product, they're not experiencing it. So let me tell you a little bit about team meetings in the beginning. I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 people on. Sometimes in order to make the room seem more full, I would invite someone else to the meeting. So I might invite a sideline to come and give a little presentation, or I might invite an upline to come. Or I would invite a friend who is thinking about joining Stampin' Up. And my meetings are always open. Anyone can come. We don't have that happen as much now as I did in the beginning. But usually every other month, I would have someone come to a meeting just to check it out. I'm like, hey, come check out our team meeting. It's free. Literally, it's a Zoom link. I'll send it to you and you can come. So if you want the room to feel more full, I also will say that I talk to them if I've got 1 or 20 on. It's the same conversation. I record mine, I post the recording, and then I send it out and make it accessible to everyone. Those are really important steps. In the beginning, I would make sure to send everyone a meeting packet. So everyone on my team would get a meeting packet. And in the beginning, I didn't charge for those. And I will say that there's a lot of opinions about this, right? And people say, don't not charge for that. You've got to charge for it. You have to show them the value. You're setting a bad precedent. You're giving away your bonus, whatever. But for me, it was a reinvestment in my team. And as the years have gone on, I've changed my policies. But I think that that's okay. With growth comes change. But I do think in the beginning, like, even if you sent them 1 card in the mail that they got to make with you, hi Melinda, that's a really great opportunity. So it's really important to do what you're comfortable with and what's in your scope. Yeah, a make and take. Yeah, exactly, Donna. So for instance, this last month, their make and take was 4 of the Memories and More hand-penned cards, and I think like a 5th or a 6th of those card packs. So I literally took the card packs, divvied them all up, and then everybody got a make and take. Now I charge for it. So I do $5 for a meeting packet. That covers my cost of shipping, which is about $3.50. And then it covers some of the cost of the supplies, right? Usually my make and take packets now are 3 cards, 2 cards. In this case, it was like Memories and More, but there was 0 prep involved, so it didn't really cost me anything in terms of that. Candy charges $10 for her make and take packets for her team meetings. And that definitely covers the cost of shipping and then the cost of the product. And then she's baked in a little bit in there for door prizes. Now I do door prizes. In the beginning, I did door prizes for everyone. Now you only get a door prize ticket if you've actually purchased a packet. And that's how Candy does it as well. But some months I don't do door prizes. Some months I do prizes for, challenges that we've got. I try to keep it fluid and I try to mix it up. And so each team meeting I try to have one of our team members come on and be like a guest speaker. And I'm actually going to look at my little spreadsheet that I have so that I can talk you through that. But I'll usually have someone come, and it could be just because they've, featured something. They did a really cool little bookmark project and I want them to show us how to make it or how they price it, or they could be talking about a recent craft fair experience they had and how successful that was. So I try to feature someone on the team for about 10 minutes. I used to, when the team was smaller, everybody got to show off a project that they made. The team is larger now, so I can't do that. But I usually try to have some sort of challenge for them every month, a creative challenge, a business challenge. And then at the meeting, I'll have a topic that I'm going to talk about. So it could be that we're talking about hostesses or recruiting. It could be that we're, going to talk about how to use the pastels, which will be next month's class. So I've picked someone on my team who I know is a very accomplished artist, and I texted her and said, hey, Noelle, are you willing to do a little bit of a demo video on the pastels? Because I've never played with pastels before. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. And I was like, I'll send you a pack of them so you can play and you can show us how to use them, right? So those are the types of things that you want to start empowering your team to do. But when your team is small, even 1, 2, 3 people, having them stamp, having them do make and takes is really smart, right? Because we want them using their supplies. We want them thinking about that. We also want to role model what it's like to have make and takes and to be able to ship make and take projects and be able to teach a class, right? So all of these things that we're doing with our team, even if you only have 1, 2, 3, 4 people on your team, This is all really important, and it's laying the groundwork for your team to get larger. So now I have 23 on the team, which is crazy, and it's great, and it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy. They definitely are very chatty. They ask lots of good questions, and this past month we actually. I always talk about Paper Pumpkin, and I give kind of previews for Paper Pumpkin. And then we talked a lot about the kits and the new kit collection and the philosophy behind the kits and how you would use them in your business and what you think. And so it was a really productive conversation about kits that I wasn't even planning on having, honestly, but it's because one of the newer demonstrators on the team said, hey, tell me more about these kits. I don't understand. I find that a lot of our team, they don't read the weekly updates. They're not watching Sarah Douglas's lives. They're not engaging on the demonstrator planning place. And so always having reminders about mailing selector, right? Like any really important, pertinent updates is important. But then also engaging with them, do I send it to everyone or just those that RSVP? So Donna, for the kits, for the make and takes, I have them RSVP. So I have them tell me, and then they have to send me $5. Back in the day, I actually sent it to everybody. Every month, I sent every single person a make and take. And for a while there, it was my Paper Pumpkin Alternative Project. And so all of my team subscribed to Paper Pumpkin. And so every month they got an alternative project. I was already making that alternative project for my Paper Pumpkin customers. So it was really easy for me just to make 5 more, 3 more, 2 more, whatever, and send those to them as well. Back in the day, every single team member got that. And I feel like it was a piece of mail. It was a reminder of, hey, you're on my team. Right now I have them pay the $5. I don't know. I see some disengagement from a few of the team members, and I definitely am worried, about them. And I feel like the minute they stop coming to those monthly meetings, we might be in trouble, because that means that they're not checking things. They're not going to stampinup.com. They're not logging into their reports. They're not reading the weekly updates. The emails that Stampin' Up sends us now, the weekly emails, don't have updates, right? They're substantial and they have really interesting information, but they don't have all the critical, necessary updates that I think, our team needs. And they need to be reminded of. So I try to plan things out so that my team has that. My team also has access to my PDFs from my monthly classes. So they have access to those, and I make those available to them on our Facebook page. So things that I've done, team meetings, other kind of alternative team meetings that I've had. Sorry, I'm going to try to move you guys just real quick so I can read this list. Okay, so a few other things I've done. We've done no stamping shoebox swaps. So that's kind of fun, where everybody signs up if they want, and then they make a shoebox swap that doesn't require stamping, and they prep the projects, and they send it to 4 team members that I assign, and then they get 4 from other people. So it's kind of like round robin. But that's a really fun way to engage your team and get them to come to the meetings, because they have to come because they need to see what they're making. They get Happy Mail in the mail, 4 different pieces of Happy Mail. And that is of no cost to you, right? So that's a great way to engage them. Another thing that I've done is samplers. So we've done team samplers, and I'll actually take you over to our team sampler that we just recently finished. But that's fun because everybody makes 9 squares, and then they mail them to me. I sub them all out, and then I mail them out to everybody. Again, very low cost, a little bit of mailing, but really easy. We've done mystery stamping at our meetings. I don't do that every meeting, but I've done it a couple of times. We've done Secret Santa, which we always do in Christmas. And so I try to kind of mix it up. I try to do Memories and More and encourage them to use Memories and More. Many of them won't buy it on their own. So getting them to experience it, divvying up a kit, and getting them to experience it is a great way for them to try that. I also do what I call try it classes, where I send them some cards that have a variety of the new DSPs on it. Many of them might not get all of the DSPs, and so they haven't seen, touched, or felt them. And so I want them to experience those things, because once you see one of these papers and you're like, oh, I love this, I really want to get more of this. So again, it's not just for our business-minded demos, right? I have a lot of hobbyists on my team, but that stamping portion, that make and take portion, is really important to those hobbyists. It's really important that we engage them. We're going to make some calendar cards this year. So they've talked with me about that, and they really want to do that. So we're going to do that. We'll probably do some like fall treats. So, a good variety of projects, but I think that having consistent meetings is really important. And then setting a date and time that works for you is really important, that you can consistently hold. Doing it online is really important, because you want to make it equitable for everybody who's on your team, no matter if they're local or not. And then I think that having some way to engage them in stamping and creating is really important. So I'm going to show you our sampler. So here we go. I'm going to walk over so I can show you this. And then if you've got any other questions, let me know. If you're watching later on the replay, please comment. I'll also put my agenda, my meeting agenda in the comments as well, so you can see that. So here's the spring sampler. So everybody made a different square. And it was just a really fun project. And we picked some parameters. With this one, we picked 3 different background colors. So rich raspberry, mint macaron, and flirty flamingo. And of course, everything needed to be current. So definitely an emphasis on current. And, it gives me the opportunity when we do something like this to say, if they ask, well, why does it have to be current? And I say, well, it needs to be current because if our customers see it, our potential customer sees it and says, I love that stamp set, I want to make 1,000 cards like that, you can say, great, you can purchase it here, right? Instead of saying, you can borrow it from me, right? Like, how would they get access to that stamp set? So that emphasis on current's definitely there. So, okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope that I was an okay substitute for all of your other fabulous trainers that we have. Please let me know if you have any questions, and it was great chatting with you. Please have team meetings, do them monthly, do them consistently, and give your team an opportunity to create with you, however that may be. But it's really important that we get them using the supplies that they have, and sometimes a little motivation, a little kick from us is important. So thanks, Donna. It was nice to see you. Hello, everybody else. I see this group has just grown exponentially, and so many of you might not know me, but really happy to be on here. And thanks, Kathleen, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.